I mean, you always try to start early. That's for sure. You know, especially football, it's a game of momentum. So as soon as you can create a turnover, or create an impact play on defense, it's big. So yeah, that'll be the goal. You just do what you've been doing for the past week. You know, we've it's definitely a different week for sure with all the media. With all, you know, it's the Grey Cup. You know, it's something special to be part of the two teams that participate in this event. But I think what's important for us is to keep the mentality and the focus we've been keeping for the past weeks. Because at the end of the day, when the light starts and the game is on the go, it's 60 minutes of football, and like a regular season or just like a preseason, it's a football game, and it will come down to that. So we'll make sure that we stay focused and we'll do what we've been doing for the past weeks. I mean, look, it's the first time I experienced it, so I think, of course, there's going to be some challenge, but I'm pretty confident in the team that we have that will be able to overcome those challenge. And we have leaders on this team that are not players, but they've been to the Grey Cup. I'm thinking of AC and LBJ, which were in the 2009 and 2010 era, and there's some guys on our team that've been to a Grey Cup. So there's a thing that there's a knowledge, and as a player, what we've been great at is listening to those advice that the other player can give us, and just make sure that this week is going to be a week that you enjoy. You make sure that we live it the fullest, but the prize is at the end of the week. This for sure is for promoting the game, but for us player, it's the game that's going to be something that we're looking forward. And afterwards, now you can put on the festivities, but we'll go one day at a time, and we'll see how this whole week goes by. I mean, they're a great team. They got a great coach. They're a well-coached team, and the thing is, they do not make a lot of mistakes. And when they do, they can come back. Last time we played, we scored 2 defensive touchdowns, and they still were in the game. So we know it's gonna be a dogfight. And the thing that I said against Toronto is, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And I think that. Definitely having the matchup against Winnipeg is something that we look forward, because we consider ourselves the best team, and we want to we like the challenge of facing a team that's been there for 4 years in a row. Oh yeah, for sure you get a lot of confidence for that, and think that it's in the same week you just build on that confidence, and you make sure that you keep that confidence. You don't become too much arrogant. You just keep that confidence and keep doing what you've been doing, but for sure you just want to build on that. I mean, look, the thing is about last week, the underdog story for sure, we understand it. It's normal. You just look at the stats. It's a 16-2 team. I think was the greatest team record for this team in the CFL. So we understand it. But for us, we never felt it like this. And yeah, you can use it as much as you want. The thing I think with being the underdog is you don't have any pressure. But personally, for us, we didn't come here just to be the underdog and just we beat the Eastern, and for us the season is done. That's not the mentality. The mentality is job is not done. We didn't do all this hard work. We didn't defeat this team just to have an appearances in the Grey Cup and finish at that. Can you excuse me? Oh well. It was pretty crazy. I do remember that most memorable one is when the one that finished on a field goal. Too many men on the field for SAS, so they re-kick it again to win it. And I think those feeling about those games were just so surreal as a fan to be able to be older, not young, because I personally experienced it in 2002, but I was too young actually to remember. So 2009 and 2010 for me was something incredible, and the feeling as a fan and just the proudness of that team that they won, it was something that I really enjoy. So I'm looking forward to have the same feeling, but as a player right now. Well, I did. I went to one of it, and I don't want to get too much ahead of myself about the parade, but yeah, it was something crazy, and for sure you want to experience it. Oh, for sure. You see it right away. Just coming by, so you guys know, I took the metro to come to the stadium before we left, and people were talking with us on the metro, saying good luck for this weekend. That's the thing with Montreal. When you win, we're gonna ride with you till the end, but we're also gonna be a harsh critic. But it's just the love for the sport and the love for the city is incredible, and I think that. We felt that the really Montreal and Quebec is behind us, and it's a great feeling to have right now. I mean, it's just crazy. Honestly, you just try to focus, soak everything in, just enjoy the moment. But for sure, the biggest challenge is going to be to keep your mind on what the objective is. The objective is to win that game and to play our football on Sunday. And for sure, it's going to be a hell of a week with all the media and all the attention. But I think we'll be able to prevail through that week and just play the football we've been playing, because we've been playing some great football for the past few weeks and want to keep that momentum. And just enjoy the moment. I mean, I'll take Christian Matt, We already said it, but I'll say it again. The last time he won, it was 2010, his rookie year. And he's thinking, like, the Alouettes been the past year. It's my rookie year, and he took it a bit for granted, as he said. He had to wait 13 years to come back to this place. So for sure, enjoy it. Don't take it for granted, but make sure that you stay focused on what's ahead of you, and that week is going to be a hell of a chaos with the media, but I mean, enjoy and keep your focus.
Last question, Jack. Pretty clear that the bread and butter
I think if you want to win the Grey Cup, all three phases have a great matchup. Just a great game in general. Especially, I think the record goes away when it's a Grey Cup time. I think it's the nerves of the game and just the reality of the situation is different than a regular season for sure. I try to say, and I said earlier, you don't want to focus and just play like any regular game, but we know it's not any regular game. It's a championship game, but all three phases will have to show up, and I'm confident all three of them will. Oui. Écoute, c'est assez surréel qu'on est ici en ce moment. C'est vraiment incroyable. En moins de 48 heures, on compétitionnait, on était dans une mentalité de gagner ce match de division pour accéder à la Coupe Grey. Puis aujourd'hui, on est à la Coupe Grey en ce moment. Dans la semaine, je devrais dire, de la Coupe Grey. Fait que c'est surréel. Puis c'est juste de profiter de tous les moments, mais de s'assurer que notre focus reste sur le prix.
Yes, we've talked about that since day one, about, Lou Heyman going to Montreal and getting the Alouettes name from the Bomber Squadron years ago. And it's something we talked about this year, about bringing that feeling back and that moniker back to us and feeling an attachment to that 425 Squadron. So we talk about representing Quebec and Montreal in the 425 before every single game we play. And to see that playing, it just feels like this was meant to be quite honest with you. And looking forward to get a team pick before we leave. No, I just think with every play there's an opportunity. And like you said, I don't think anybody in our locker room was surprised by it. We certainly felt like going into that game we were going to win. I mean, that's why we showed up. That's why we put all the work in. We were confident going into that game. So I think we've talked about it on defense, and when you watch our defense play from the sideline, you just feel like every play is an opportunity for our guys to make a play. And in that third quarter, when I went through the game myself, just going through it how I do, there was about 15 plays in a row where it was pure dominance. And I mean, that was from everybody. And it was incredible to watch. I don't know if I've seen a display like that on defense in a big game like that since I've been up here, to be quite honest with you. So it was tremendous, and it obviously propelled us to where we are today. Yeah, I'll say this. No one in our locker, I mean, I don't use the word underdog. I feel very confident, where we are, what we do. I think we're confident every week we can go in and beat anybody, and it's because of the way we work and how much we've come together and how much we've learned along the way. There was a lot of learning lessons. Those 7 losses were times to learn. We did talk at the beginning of this. The awareness factor of this playoff run was the first step was to beat a Hamilton team that was hosting a Grey Cup, which every team that's hosting it wants to be in it, and they're going to give you everything they have. They've also been in 2 Grey Cups recently. Then we said the next step would be against a 16-2 team who's 9-0 at home and just won a Grey Cup, and you got to be great to beat them. So we got to be at our best. And then we looked ahead and we said, hey, when we get to that third step, there's a chance you play a team that's going to be going to their 4th Grey Cup and have won 2. And you're going to have to be as good as you've ever been and great to beat them. So, no matter what, someone's going to look at us and say, going against those teams, you probably are the underdog. That's just not the way we felt all along. We just felt like if we learned lessons and we came together and we worked hard, and that's what our culture is working. And if we put that mindset to it and said we are going to make ourselves the best version of ourselves every day, and when we show up to play these teams, we will be great. That's what we're intending to do. We have quite a bit, to be quite honest with you. Maybe not as much as the Bombers. I think when you stack it up, games played, there won't be anything comparison that. There are some guys on our team that do have that Grey Cup experience. But I'll tell you what, 4 years ago when they showed up to their first one that they're going to now play in 4 in a row, they won. So I would throw all those things out the door. That experience can help you in some ways, but I think some enthusiasm about being here the first time, coming together as a team, being through what we've been through, going through what we've been through this year, we're as tight as anybody. And we had to be. If we truly believe we're going to be victorious, you had to do all that just to give yourself a chance. Well, we've given ourselves a chance. We're here. But I think everybody enjoys each other's company so much, and that's what you're seeing. Yeah, those are three great names, to be quite honest with you, and those are the 3 I've been a part of. You learn a little bit along the way from all of them, to be quite honest with you. I enjoyed my time with all of them. Tried to soak up as much information as possible, and dreamed of this day, to be quite honest with you, of leading a team to a Grey Cup. I feel very fortunate to have been alongside those guys and to be in the cups and learn as much as I have, and just thrilled to be honest, be here. Well, I mean, when I got hired back in December, Danny and I spoke candidly about that. And, I told him, I said, I want to be a little bit different. I'm never going to lose my passion. I'm never going to lose how I feel about the game. But I certainly want to display a different side to our team, because I want to be the most disciplined team out there. And there's times where my discipline has been questioned by the way I react to things on the sideline. So I made a concerted effort to change that behavior to treat the referees differently. You know, I have always respected them and what they do, but I wanted to show it more this year and to let them know how much I do respect them by my appearance. But I felt like if you're going to be a disciplined football team, it has to start with me. And we are a disciplined football team. When you look at the numbers, the penalties have gone down from the previous years I've coached, and all year long we've gone down in that regard, and we talked about it. And I told them at the beginning of the year, it's going to start with me. If I'm asking you guys to be disciplined, it's going to start with me, so that's what you're going to see. And you know, I'm happy where I am with that. You know, I'm still myself, but I definitely have showed a little bit more constraint and control. Yeah. You know, he's a leader, and he's gone through a lot of trials and tribulations in his career. He's had to work to get where he is, just like our team. You know, we're built on work and that blue-collar mentality. You know, we wanted great people to be here and work together with one another, and Cody epitomizes that. Again, he's a 6 a.m. riser. He's in the building extremely early, watching his film. He gets the receivers in early to watch. He gives you everything he has on every single play. He's dedicated to his craft. You know, I think he's just a great leader. That's what he means to us, and he's done a great job of leading us throughout the season. Obviously, I feel like we have great leaders throughout our locker room. We don't look at anybody not as a leader, but you got to have a quarterback that can lead by example. I'll say that, and he does that extremely well. I'll tell you what, they're more than just two people. I can tell you that. I mean, they've got depth on their team. They've got a great culture. They're led by a tremendous man who's led them to 4 Grey Cups. I think they know what they're doing. They have a great system, all 3 phases, and I know they have a lot of buy-in by their players, so their guys will be ready, and so will we. So, I mean, you know, whoever's available, they'll give us their best shot, and that's what we're going to do as well.
Yeah, it was emotional for sure. This team is very special, and they're very special to me. And just being given a second opportunity at professional sports doesn't come very often, and I got that with Coach Moss and Danny Mack. And this team, from the first day of training camp, we talked about winning a Grey Cup, and why not us? There's 9 teams, why not us? And we continue to put our head down, work through the winning streaks, the losing streaks, and then back through the winning streaks again. But personally, for me, to see the fourth quarter, the clock hit 0, and knowing that I'll be going to my first Grey Cup as a starting quarterback meant a lot. And just seeing how excited my family was, how excited my wife was. She posted some things on social media, and that's what it's all about. It's about the people who have supported me through the tough years and through the good years, and that's why you know, you play the game. You play it for them. You play it for the people who make a lot of sacrifices for you, and that's what my wife does with our son at home. And so it's a surreal moment being here and knowing that we'll be playing in the 110th Grey Cup. Yeah, you know, it didn't really feel real. Obviously, after the game, we were celebrating, and that's all part of it. And then we went back to Montreal, and, you know, I go back to my 1-bedroom condo. My family's not there. I'm just kind of sitting there, like, thinking, we're in the Grey Cup, you know? And then when we land here, and then obviously the media attention and getting your hat, and that's what it's all about. And I text a couple people that have Grey Cup experience, guys that I've played with, and asked them their kind of secrets to the week, and I'm not going to share those secrets with you guys, but I'm going to hold them close to my chest. But there was a lot of people that I reached out to just to kind of give me some advice for a week. And I've been a part of a Grey Cup winning team, but never as a starter, and so that's why I wanted to reach out to some guys and make sure that I'm doing all the right things to put our team in the best position to win a football game. Yeah, you know, last year was extremely difficult for me and my family, and anytime you lose as many games as we did and miss the playoffs is always tough. But in a place that you pour your heart and soul out to, and you don't feel like you're wanted back, off-season was extremely difficult for my wife and I, and contemplating if I should hang them up, contemplating if I should try and make one more run and see what happens through free agency. But to tell you the truth, my mindset changed this year. I changed one thing. this year, and I don't know if it's accredited to it, but mentally, I devoted this year to all the people who have supported me. I wanted to prove all the people that supported me and loved me. I wanted to prove all those people right, as opposed to prove all the naysayers wrong. And I think in the years past, I was so caught up in trying to prove everybody wrong and try to make everybody like me that it was exhausting. And this year, I really focused on my inner circle and all the people that would text me after games when we'd lose, not the people who would text me after we won. That's what it meant to me, and that was the one change I made. And I'll tell you, it's been a lot more satisfying this year winning football games, playing for the ones that love you, for the ones that make the sacrifices for you to be in this position to play football. That's what it's meant for me. Without a doubt, and I said it after the game in my interview, I love that man and I'll run through a brick wall for him, and I wouldn't probably be playing football this year if it wasn't for him and if it wasn't for Danny giving me the validation to be the franchise quarterback for this team and offering me a 2-year deal, which a lot of teams weren't doing in free agency. A lot wanted to offer me a 1-year deal, and I felt that 2-year deal, there was some validation there that they believed in me. I remember Danny telling me that he watched every single one of my snaps as a starting quarterback, and he believed that I can take a team to a Grey Cup and win a Grey Cup. When you hear that out of your general manager and you hear the things that Coach Moss did for me last year standing on a table and truly believing in me, those are guys you want to play for. Those are the guys you want to prove right. And that's what changed a lot of my mentality, like I just spoke about, was playing for guys like that who just, you want to validate their reasons and you want to do everything you can to play your best football so that you can prove those who believe in you right. A lot stands out. There's been a lot of battles against that opponent, who's an incredibly gifted football team. They're a very veteran bunch. They're a team that's going to be in their 4th straight Grey Cup, which is truly incredible when you think about it. They're a team that's been here, done it, and I think that's a competitive advantage for them. But one thing that's a competitive advantage for us is the excitement of being our first Grey Cup together as a team. So I'm just excited to see how the week unfolds. I know being a part of the Grey Cup in 2017, even as a backup quarterback, it was one of the most special weeks of my life, and the CFL does such a great job throughout the week of making the players feel like the prime, example, making us feel truly like professional athletes. But to tell you the truth, when BC and Winnipeg were playing, we didn't care who won that football game, but for me and all the battles that we've had with Winnipeg, it's just one of those monkeys that's kind of left on your back. And to validate a complete season and that comeback year, you got to go through a team that I haven't won very often against, right? And so that's the biggest thing. I think it was more than six offense points. Yeah. The first game, honestly, I went back and I watched it. Actually, I watched some tape today before we got on the flight. That first game, I just remember the weather was not great. And so it was 17-3 final score. It wasn't very easy for both offenses to get going. So you kind of throw that game out, and then, it's not much of an excuse, but I remember playing at their place. It was my first game coming back off of injury and just trying to get my feet wet again. And so both times we played them, they played outstanding football, and rightfully so. Early on in the year, I believe it was week 3 that we played them, week 4, and we had a lot of young guys at the time. Now we still have a lot of young guys on this team, but at least they've weathered the storm. They have experience. They have playoff experience, 2 playoff games under their belt. So we know it's going to be a tough task. We understand what Winnipeg brings, and that we have to be physical, and all we're asking for is to have an opportunity to win the game in the 4th quarter. And that's something I think this team's done a great job all year, is just finding a way to have an opportunity in the 4th quarter. But we have a tough task ahead of us versus a very good Winnipeg team, and we're excited about the challenge. I don't think so, because if you look at it, you look at the roster then, even watching the roster then, there's guys that are on injured reserve for us. There's guys that we called up from the practice squad since then. I know that their teams change differently as well. The season's so long and so much happens throughout the course of a season. I think every game in the CFL is a different team that you face. But I think one thing that's going in our advantage is we're riding a 7-game winning streak, and I believe that we're the hottest team in the CFL right now. And we also have all of our young guys growing up through those tough games, through the wins, through the losses, but obviously playing our first Grey Cup game as, you know, a collective whole. There's a lot of excitement to be there, but trying to stay in our routine and try to understand what the opportunity is ahead of us, and that we got to play our best football against an incredibly talented football team to have a chance to win.